Perfect. Hello and welcome back to JimMurphyMB.com, a way of keeping in touch with local and national news. I'm here in the Barnardo shop in Clarkston. Myself and Ken Macintosh is part of the Make a Difference Day volunteering, finding out what local organisations get up to and just helping out. I'm not sure how much help we've been today, but I'm here with Mary Glasgow, who is the Deputy Director of Barnardo's Children's Services in Scotland. And I just wanted to ask her a couple of quick questions about Barnardo's, because it's an organisation that many people have heard of but don't know enough about. So can you tell us, what is it that Barnardo's does? What's the kind of core purpose of Barnardo's?
The core purpose is to deliver support services to young children and young people and their families to basically ensure that they get the best possible start in the same way that children in less disadvantaged families do. So we deliver a whole range of services to children with disabilities or to young people who may have some emotional and behavioural problems, to young babies and their parents to make sure that they're able to be cared for safely. A whole host of activities basically to ensure that those vulnerable people get extra support across the country where they need it.
But we're here in the shop surrounded by handbags, ladies' shoes, children's toys, Christmas stuff. I mean, what's the connection? How much of what happens in the shop is connected to those sorts of things, helping the vulnerable kids and families who are facing difficulties, or is it just something entirely different?
No, it's really connected, and a lot of the money that's raised in our shops goes directly to support those vulnerable children that I just described. So for example, although we get a lot of money from government and local government to deliver services, some of the extra money that we get through shops allows us to deliver support to those children who otherwise might be missed. So children with disabilities, it allows us to fund some short breaks for them, so they get an experience that's a bit different from their own family, and their parents get a well-earned rest from their responsibilities for caring for children who have quite a lot of care needs.
And then, obviously we were talking earlier about some of the pressures of the families that you meet and the difficulties, and obviously we're going into the details of that. But when you look at what's happening in Scotland and the UK at the moment, what is it that worries you most?
I think for families in Scotland, the biggest impact we will see is through welfare reform. So the reduction in income for already very impoverished, disadvantaged families, and some of the ways in which benefits will be paid will be quite difficult for those families to manage without support. So whereas right now we can talk to people about their relationships and their behaviour and their need to get into employment and develop themselves, in a year's time I suspect we'll be talking more about how do you keep yourself warm, how do you keep your children fed, and how do you manage your money. And for me that's a real concern, and I think it'll have a huge impact on us as a society.
I think that's typically the debate we're having in Parliament and the House of Commons just now, just what are the impacts of these welfare reforms? Because the welfare state always has to continue to change.
Absolutely.
But to do it in a way that appears punitive and punishes people.
I think it's the process. I mean, we in Barnardo's believe absolutely that everybody should make a contribution, and the people we support quite often start off disadvantaged, but by the time we finish they do get into training, they do get into employment, they transform their lives and they make a real difference. But to get from where they start to that point needs a lot of support, and if you just quickly take money out of the system without support to make sure that people get to where they need to be, then actually I think it could potentially be quite a disaster for all of us.
Well, I hope you're wrong, but I feel you're right.
Me too.
Well, that's all for just now with Mary. That's why I'm wearing this Dapper t-shirt myself from Ken Macintosh. He looks worse in it than I do, but that's all for just now. As usual, get in touch by email, on Twitter and Facebook, or going down to the local post office and putting a stamp on an envelope and posting it to the House of Commons. The last thing is, Barnardo's are always looking for volunteers, they're always looking for donations, they're always looking for customers. So if you've got a spare couple of pounds, pop into Barnardo's shop. If you've got a spare couple of hours, pop in and see if you can volunteer. And if you get things around the house that are high quality, clothes or toys or things that you no longer need, why not bring it down to Barnardo's in time for Christmas so they can continue to do the brilliant work that we just heard about. Cheers for now, bye bye.